You know, in Iowa alone, more than a dozen school threats have been reported in the 15 days since the Parkland shooting took place at that Florida high school. Of course, we've covered many of these right here in the area. The most recent school closing just yesterday at West Branch. The West Branch School District said a threatening note was found on school property earlier this week. A minor has been charged now, a criminal charge of disorderly conduct.
And last week, the Dubuque Community School District also called off classes and activities after threats about a possible shooting were posted to social media. Police say that the threats turned out to not be credible, and two 16-year-olds were found responsible. And also, less than 1 day after the Parkland, Florida tragedy, Anamosa High School was evacuated after a bomb threat was called in. Well, tonight, KWWL's Jalyn Souchek speaking with both education leaders and law enforcement to learn more about how these threats are handled.
Jalyn joins us live right now from Iowa City. She has our top story. Jalyn.
Ron and Abby, obviously, when it comes to these type of situations, the safety of the students is the top priority. So that means the school and law enforcement will treat any threat as if it were credible until they can prove it's not. School closings, school evacuations on top of
Anamosa High School students are being relocated because of a security concern.
More school closings. In the aftermath of the Parkland school shooting, this scene is becoming more and more familiar in Iowa and across the country.
Sometimes we get copycats where we get kids that are looking for attention, and this is a way that they know that they can get immediate attention.
Here's an outline of the state, and here are the schools that have faced some sort of threat since that Florida shooting. There are at least 14 schools here, but none of these threats have been found credible.
For us, every threat looks credible, and so we share that with law enforcement, and then we wait for them to tell us that that is one that we need to take seriously enough that we might consider letting kids out early or canceling school.
Something the Iowa City Police Department takes very seriously.
We take every threat as if it's real, and so, you know, in the end, if we get ahead of it and we address the issue with the people that are involved, and we involve the parents and we involve the schools, and in the end nothing happens, does that mean it wasn't a real threat, or does that mean we got out in front of it?
Many of these closings have come from threats made on social media.
They have the ability to, you know, vent and get their message out. They'll do it without thinking about what the repercussions could be.
Superintendent Stephen Murley says social media can make a threat grow fast.
Someone saying something that they didn't think that we or other students would take seriously. They thought it was a joke. Certainly, we don't take those things with any sense of humor, and so they're all considered serious.
Murley says it's the district's job to make sure students understand the repercussions.
There's a lot of ways for kids to express their sense of humor. There are some ways that are really inappropriate, and we want to make sure that they don't do that, and that there are consequences when you do take those kinds of actions, whether it's a social media post, writing something on the wall in the bathroom.
Both the district and police strongly encourage people to be proactive. If you see something, they still want you to say something. The district also makes it very easy for students to report these type of things anonymously through an app. Reporting live in Iowa City, Jalyn Souchek, News 7 KWWL.
Jalyn, thank you very much. And one of the key parts of any investigation, authorities have to determine what was the intent, if any, behind the message perceived by authorities and the school as a threat.
And Sergeant Frank said it is then a case-by-case basis whether charges are actually made. In recent cases, those have included harassment and also disorderly conduct charges.